one of the smartest people that I've ever heard of filed a petition with the FDA last August. And this petition, it told the story of the health of the American people through science and statistics. Stats like, according to a 2019 analysis of National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey data, only 12.2% of American adults are metabolically healthy. The CDC says 74% of American adults are overweight or obese. 2022 study, Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism, found roughly 38% of non-diabetic American adults are insulin resistant or pre-diabetic. In 2025, CDC finding that nearly 1 in 3 American adolescents between 12 and 17 years old now have pre-diabetes, 1 in 3. And according to a CDC study that was published in The Lancet, Americans now face a 40% lifetime chance of developing diabetes, all from a system that was engineered to make you sick. And for the first time in a long time, there is a real, legal, and scientific weapon being pointed right at that system. And it was filed by a man who's played this game before. The former FDA chief, David Kessler, who went to Harvard Medical School and the University of Chicago Law School, one of the top 3 law schools in this country, at the same time. He ran the hospital at Albert Einstein College of Medicine in New York before being appointed by George H.W. Bush to be the FDA commissioner in 1990. He served under Bush and Clinton, and he is the reason that you have nutrition labels on your food. He's the man who went all the way to the Supreme Court trying to regulate cigarettes in the 90s, changing the culture of an entire nation. And he was one of the lead expert witnesses, Dr. David Kessler, in the national opioid case. And he testified that pharmaceutical companies deliberately changed the practice of medicine to sell more addictive pills, and that no one stopped them. And now he's saying the exact same thing about the food industry and the food you eat. So to get the attention of the federal government, Dr. Kessler made an elegant scientific and legal move, submitting a citizen's petition, asking RFK and the MAHA movement to put their money where your mouth is. So right now, the food industry uses this loophole. It's called GRAS, generally recognized as safe, to put thousands of ingredients into the American food supply without FDA review whatsoever. Companies are essentially self-governing. There's no government oversight, no independent testing required. I mean, in Europe, there's only about 400 legal food ingredients, and the FDA right now doesn't even know how many ingredients are in American foods. Specifically, Kessler's petition, which we're going to link in the description below, targets the processed, refined carbohydrates that form the backbone of ultra-processed foods. You know, corn syrups, high fructose corn syrup, maltodextrin, refined flours, all of this stuff. You know, the stuff that's in your Doritos, your Fruit Loops, your Pop-Tarts. Basically anything that comes in a crinkly bag and doesn't go bad. And here is why his legal argument is so powerful. He doesn't have to prove that these ingredients are unsafe. He only has to show that their safety has not been established under current science. These GRAS determinations on these ingredients, they were made 50 years ago. The science has completely changed. We've seen experts since then linking ultra-processed foods to diseases like fatty liver disease and type 2 diabetes in kids, a population that never had those diseases at all 30 or 40 years ago. And if the FDA agrees with all of this, the burden of proof flips entirely to the food industry. Prove that your ingredients are safe or pull them off the market. And that's where this all falls apart. The FDA, under the Trump regime, is heavily lobbied by the processed food industry. According to analysis of OpenSecrets.org, one of my favorite websites, the Milbank Quarterly found that from 98 to 2020, ultra-processed food industry, they spent $1.1 billion on lobbying, the most out there. And here's the proof that something has gone very, very wrong. Dr. Kessler cited a randomized controlled inpatient trial at the NIH in 2019. It was led by Dr. Kevin Hall. And again, I'm going to link this report, if you're a nerd like me, in the comments. He published in this journal called Cell Metabolism. But here's the key part. Participants on this diet of ultra-processed foods consumed approximately 500 more calories per day than those on an unprocessed diet. And of course, they gained weight. Both groups had unlimited access to as much food as they wanted, and the ones eating processed foods ate more. The food is literally engineered to make you consume more of it. I mean, it seems awfully like an addictive substance like tobacco or opioids. And RFK, in response, went on 60 Minutes this weekend. And he said that they are going to act on the petition. We can only hope. But officially, the government has not reached a final decision on this petition, which is exactly how the Trump regime has acted about Americans' health this entire time. You toss out a concept like lowering prescription drug costs or eliminating ultra-processed foods, something that would get widespread bipartisan support. And then you just deliver this industry-led, corporately corrupt website that benefits no one but the shareholders, or you talk about maybe removing a dye. Look, we can criticize RFK Jr. on a lot of things, but his stance on ultra-processed foods, it's the right one. But this administration, this Trump regime, is not known to make changes that benefit the public unless it lines the pockets of their billionaire friends. RFK Jr. said, and I want to quote this directly, "I'm not saying that we're going to regulate ultra-processed foods. Our job is to make sure everyone understands what they're getting." That's a company line he was fed. That's a very, very cloudy way of saying we're not going to revoke GRAS status for corn syrup. And Kessler acknowledged on 60 Minutes that he and Kennedy disagree on almost everything, even vaccines. Kessler said, "In the strongest possible terms, when it comes to vaccines, I disagree." But he said, if Kennedy is willing to take action on ultra-processed foods, he would be the first to applaud it. I just don't think we're going to hear any clapping, because a truly brilliant man like David Kessler that served under presidents of both parties, seriously, you need to look up this guy's resume. It is incredible. He put in the work, compiled the data, and made what one food safety expert called the strongest play a citizen can make to affect the American food supply. Meanwhile, the Trump regime, they're going to have their hand out, looking for more money from the food industry that already spent billions of dollars to elect the people that are currently in power so that they can keep policing themselves. We've seen this movie before. Kessler tried to take down big tobacco. He lost in court, but he did change how an entire country thought about cigarettes. And of course, private attorneys found a way to hold these companies accountable, just like we've held Big Pharma accountable when the government could not. So let's hope that there is accountability to be found here. I'm going to link the full petition and the response in the description. I want you to read it. And there is a place that you can put in public comment on that same page. Use it. And then I want you to comment to tell us what you think the government should do about this American food industry that is literally killing people. Doesn't it seem like our feeds are getting filled with more and more BS right-wing MAGA content? It's no secret that all these top tech bros are in love with the current regime, so it's no surprise that independent left-leaning media is being squashed by the algorithm. If you like our content and content like us, it doesn't take long to click that thumbs up, share, comment, or subscribe. So please help us keep the truth alive.